Hey, welcome back to the B2B Marketing Gap podcast with me, Jade Tambini. I'm so excited to have you back for part 4 of this 6-part series on how to create your B2B marketing strategy from scratch along the process of B2B Breakthrough Academy, my online course. If you don't already know me, I'm B2B Jade. I've been working in marketing for 18 years. I'm also a TikTok influencer and founder of B2B Breakthrough Academy. In today's episode, we're going to look at how you can select the best marketing tactics to deliver on your marketing strategies that you should have selected in earlier stages of your marketing planning process. A lot of people dive straight into tactics, and this is really a problem in B2B marketing because what we don't want to do is end up jumping right to the answers before we even know what the question is. So if you haven't already watched part 1, 2, and 3 of this video series, I really recommend that you go over to my YouTube channel, B2B Jade TV, and watch part 1 on how to create your marketing review. Within that, you can actually get a hold of the exact marketing review that I use with my marketing students within the course. Part 2, you can also watch on how to set your marketing objectives and how to come up with the best marketing budget for the task in hand and get sign off on that. In part 3, you then move into what are going to be the big strategic things that you need to focus on. And once you've watched those and taken them in, then you can come back and join us here at Tactics. In today's video, we're also going to be talking about the importance of being able to create a realistic marketing activity planning program, because as much as a marketing strategy does need to be top level, it does need to be looking at the sort of bird's eye view of your organization, we actually do need to get to a point where we're saying what we will actually do. Otherwise, you end up in the situation that's like the flip reverse of the marketing task wheel, where you're just doing a bunch of activities. And then on the flip side of that, you could end up creating this fancy marketing strategy document, which I have done myself in the past, that just talks about these big, lofty ideas, but there's no action. And so that's why part 4 is so fun, because this is where we get into real action. Like, what are we doing? How's it going to work? How's it all coming together? Who's going to do what? And I'm so excited for you to get into the nitty gritty. When it comes to delivering on the big strategies that you've selected, so as a reminder, when we talk about marketing strategies, what we mean is, what are the big areas of focus that we're going to need to focus on, as opposed to the finer details of how we'll actually deliver them. And that is the big difference between strategies and tactics. So when it comes to selecting the tactics that we're going to use, we need to be thinking about what is the most efficient and lean way to deliver on those strategies. So as opposed to a big shopping list to impress our leaders, to get them to think, wow, this marketing manager has got so many amazing ideas, I really want you to shift your focus to figuring out how you can approach this with a less is more attitude, and really think about how can we reduce down what we're working on so that we're doing fewer things to a really good standard. And that brings me nicely onto my point. Something that I see really regularly is people not knowing what to throw away. We get bombarded with so many ideas from sales colleagues, from our CEOs, from our leaders, and they're just like bombarding us with ideas, and we're trying to find a way to cram them into our marketing plan. But what we need to decide is, what are we keeping and what are we throwing out? Like, what keeps taking up all our time and isn't delivering any results to us? And are we just jumping from tactic to tactic to tactic, not seeing results and then just trying out something else? This is so common with marketers on the marketing task wheel and with an ideas heavy culture in their business where everyone's just throwing ideas at them, suggesting the next big thing, decided they know the answer. We just need to send out an email promoting this service and a landing page to data capture, and then all is going to be well. We've got to find out what is really going to get us the best bang for our buck in line with the strategies. For example, if one of your strategies is that you need to overhaul your online presence so that you can become more of a serving brand, so that you're helping your prospects move through their buyer journey with all of the information that they need, one of your tactics could be, we will undertake a user experience audit of our website and map it against what our buyers need to consume in terms of content, and then we will create a plan for the pages that need to be built. Look at what imagery we're going to need to source, buy, or shoot, and hire a copywriter to flesh that out using AI along the way to help us. So what you're doing is you're taking a strategy and you're making it real with a tactic. And that could be one of 4 items that helps you deliver on the strategy of overhauling your online presence to be more serving to your audience. The next point I want to make about your marketing tactics is you need to be really good at selecting partners. I feel really bad saying this, but we have a real issue in B2B marketing in that there aren't that many great marketing agencies out there. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of ones that do a really great job individually. But what we need are specialists who really know how to get the job done. And this is where you being really good at marketing strategy is going to make your life easier. For example, when I first worked in marketing in 2009, I had to hire an SEO company, search engine optimization company. The only way you could really do that back then was to have phone calls with a bunch of different suppliers. They would tell you how things worked. You would ask for a price and then you would choose someone. I made it my mission, I think just instinctively. I was very new, very junior. I didn't know anything about what I was doing, but instinctively I knew I need to learn like the basics of this so that I am procuring the right people to work with us. For example, I spoke to about 6 different companies, and when they would try and tell me things that were not factually correct or were making promises that would not like transpire to be true, I was able to say, could I ask more about that? Do you mean this? And what about this? And what about backlinks? And what about on-page optimization? Like all the stuff I'd learned about, so that I could really verify that I was definitely working with good partners. And that is something that, as much as we are generalist marketers, when it comes to your tactical activity planning phase of your marketing strategy, like I cannot stress enough how important it's going to be to select your marketing partners. So once you've created your tactical marketing activity plan, so just to go through like how it works inside my course, even though you don't need to take the course to be able to do this, because you can easily throw together your own templates. The way that we do it is that we have one template where we map out the top level tactics against the strategies. So in the template, you'd have business focus area, marketing objective, and then you'd have the strategies aligned with each objective. And then you'd have like a sentence per tactic just to summarize how we're going to tackle this. The reason I love that sheet of paper is it just pulls your entire marketing plan together into one place. And then after that, the next template that the students are using within the course is the marketing activity plan Gantt chart. So that's like, like in Excel where you've got a project planner. You can do this anywhere you want. You can do this within a project planning tool. I personally just like to use a spreadsheet where I've got every different activity with dates assigned and color-coded blocks are inside my template. And it just helps you to just fill everything out so that at that point, you're not worrying about, should we do that? Like, is that the right thing to do? No, you verified it. Like you've been through the strategic process. So this is happening. We are doing this. We have the budget to cover this. I'm just now planning out what's going to happen and when. So when you've fleshed out your plan, you're going to be needing along the way to know who is doing what. And so I like to use a DIY, DFY model. And so first of all, it's like do it yourself, like knowing what you can do yourself as marketing manager and knowing what needs to be done for you. You as a marketing manager, please take note of this. You are a generalist marketer and it is your job to manage and oversee and orchestrate the marketing plan. In a real world, you actually don't have to be able to create a marketing strategy. Like I'm training you on this so that you can make the jump to marketing director, head of marketing, whatever comes next. But actually in the real world, you should be given a marketing strategy to deliver on by the person ahead of you. I know that doesn't usually happen, so I'm equipping you with the skills that you need. But please, once and for all, a message to your imposter syndrome, you do not need to know how to do everything in your marketing strategy. You only need to know how to oversee and make it happen with the relevant partners. So I really hope that sinks in for you, because it took me over a decade to stop burning myself out by doing everything myself, to realize that budget is there to actually outsource to people. It's not just ad spend. It's not just cost to have a photo shoot or create content. It's also there to have people do the things. And for as long as we try and do the tactics ourselves, like run our own AdWords inside Google Ads, running our own, like doing the content, all of it ourselves, like creating landing pages. Those are specialist skills. Like even in my own business, I work on my own and I hire people to do all of those things. You don't need to know how to build a CRM system, the lead flows and automations and connect the tech. This is why we have budget. Your time should be spent in terms of DIY. You're going to be testing and tweaking and looking at the numbers and liaising with your partners to find out what's working, what isn't, just looking at how things are going. You're going to be spending time planning and refining, and this is going to help you move forward faster. Don't get me wrong, if you've got a particular flair for one or two things, absolutely do it in-house. Like I've been writing my own emails for a while because I know like I'm good at copy, and I also use AI to help me in terms of like bouncing back and forth with my own words. But that doesn't mean to say that I'm not outsourcing other things like the tech side of my course and all the integrations, because I know I can quite quickly and confidently do my emails, but they're just like newsletter style. When it comes to real sales landing page copy, I paid for my website to be rewritten. I did not do that myself, even though the words are massively influenced by who I am and what I told them about myself. So in terms of the done for you things, anything that is specialist, and ask yourself the question when you're wondering, should I outsource this? Have you done it before? Have you? Like, no, I've never done that. And literally there was a time once with a leader where I'd asked for a 20K budget, bearing in mind this was like a multi-billion pound organization. I'd asked for a 20K budget to have a consultant come in and tell us how to set up all of the lead flows within our very, very complex CRM system. And they were like, you're the marketer, you're going to do that. And I just literally said, I won't be doing that because I've never done it before and I don't know how to do that. And if I spend my time learning how to do that, that takes me away from all of these things. So we either need to put me into that role for a month where I really learn and get into it and make it happen, so that there's no mistakes. This was a huge piece of work. Or we hire someone. And it takes confidence to get to that place where you are confidently challenging what leaders are saying, but ultimately they did listen to me. I was not being unrealistic or irrational. I was telling them, this is the literal reality. I will mess that up. If I do that, it will be wrong because I've never done it before. It's not going to be good. So that applies to many of the things that we're keeping in-house that we should be sending out. The great thing about working with specialists too is they're going to advise and guide you. You're going to get to learn from the best. Don't settle for just hiring any local company. Like, do your research, watch YouTube videos to learn what it is you're buying for, so that you know when someone's a shark, when they're just telling you what you want to hear. Look at who the best brands have been using, ask around and really verify the information. Now, what's great about this is you learn so much, because if you have conversations with a few partners who are seriously at the top of their game, they are going to give you insights that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So treat it as a learning experience too. This is going to help you to move forward faster, cover way more bases, and your marketing strategy can be delivered while you're free to focus on making sure things are running smoothly and you're not just overwhelmed with activities. One of the biggest things that happens to my students when they're inside B2B Breakthrough Academy is they get all the way to the marketing tactics section. And then when they're sitting down with the business to talk about what they're going to do, what's going into the plan, the business still seems stuck in a mode where they want to throw in all these additional tasks. So the marketer then has the conundrum that they have this amazing marketing strategy, but they're also still trapped on the marketing task wheel. So what can we do to get off the marketing task wheel and make sure that our marketing strategy kind of takes over? Well, when it comes to picking your tactics, what I recommend you do is that you list all the tasks that you've been doing and put them into buckets, like groups. So sales admin support, content creation, like amending and changing brochures, design work, everything that you do within your job day to day, even the fiddly little tasks, like put them down and group them. And then look at which ones we actually do need to still keep doing. Is there a better way to do them? So a few of the students in B2B Breakthrough Academy looked at hiring a sales support executive. So then it's like, okay, that person within the team, their full-time job is doing the tasks that do actually still need to happen, but we will get more strategic with them. So if people are constantly asking for brochure changes, maybe there's a problem at the root of that our sales support literature is not fit for purpose. So what could we do strategically to overcome that? Because if we can free up the sales support executives' time, they're going to be able to do more forward-thinking things with our sales team. They still report into marketing, but they are going to be able to be a more value-added part of that team. I would also suggest building overcoming those issues into your plan. So to my point about when you have an issue where there's too many requests for brochure changes, maybe if you do diagnose that you need a new suite of literature that really gets to the root of this, maybe the plan is that within your activity plan, you are going to assess and relaunch the sales support suite. And at that point, people can interject and bring forward what they want from that, but then you're going to close it off and say, this is going to be the sales suite. We won't be doing amends anymore. If it's things like case studies, I'll give you a template and you can drag the information in. We won't be just copy and pasting things for you. And it's not okay for sales to be coming up with messaging or narratives. So you've got that balance between helping them with what they need, but also building it into your plan. I also recommend incorporating like 8-week review cycles. So when you're getting those sales requests and the marketing task wheel constant bombardment, you have set times throughout the calendar year where you're going to review things that have come forward. So you can ask them to send you something, you'll have a little look at them, you'll explain to them why that isn't a focus right now. However, you are going to bring it up at the next marketing meeting in a week or in 5 weeks, whenever it is, and you'll see if there's a way to better understand the root cause of what they're talking to you about and build it into the marketing plan, as opposed to just doing what they're asking straight away. So this episode is really about that overall piece to activating your marketing strategy and making it happen. So when you have filled out my template on how to select tactics to go with your strategies, then completed the marketing activity planner with the exact dates, who's doing what, deadlines, a flow chart, all of that stuff. Once you've done that, you're also going to want to complete a budget planner as well. So maybe that's even before you lay everything out, but it's going to be like, when is the money going to leave the marketing department? So you have like January to December, and then the different partners or the different like top level lines like web, design, PR, events, sponsorships, all the different categories with the total budget and when you predict that those are going to leave, to make sure it lines up with your Gantt chart. At this point, I also recommend checking in again with your finance team to say, you've allocated this budget to me, which is great. This is how I've allocated it. And this is the months I see those invoices most likely roughly coming in, because they might say, oh, that's a really heavy month in March. Is there not a way that you could make sure that April looks a bit heavier and then March is balanced out? You can have those conversations and your finance team will really appreciate the heads up. I also recommend that as a separate task, you're creating your content plan. And within B2B Breakthrough Academy, which by the way, if you are interested in learning more about it, I am hosting an open house on December 3rd. So anybody who would like to hear more about the course, just make sure you hit the link in the description box or any of the links in my profiles across my social channels, and you can join that open house. I'll be answering all your questions about the course. I'll also be giving you a sneak peek inside the course and the community to show you what you get when you become a student. And so within B2B Breakthrough Academy, there is a full suite of content support. So the content planner helps you to not only define what your audience's pain points are, which you would have already covered in your ideal client personas in your work within the review. You will be able to map out what topics and themes are most likely going to be interesting to them so that you can flesh out your monthly content plan. This is such an important step because so often we plan our marketing activity programs with like what we're going to do, like put an ad live or launch a landing page. But the content is so much more important than the actual activity, because that is what's going to encourage people to take action. So you can plan out your long form strategy, whether that be doing a podcast, a webinar series, creating videos, and then you can figure out what you're going to do to get that content out to your audience. And that is such a big deal in today's world. When you think about how people buy, it is so much more valuable for them to see you guys talking and demonstrating your expertise over a medium like video or podcast, because they're going to be more likely to want to have that conversation with you. Alongside all of this, you're also going to want to understand what tools and technology you're going to need. And there is a whole shopping list inside my course with different recommendations, but you obviously can spend some time researching that yourself and figuring out what tools, what technology, what platforms you're going to need to work alongside your partners. Now, partners can be a really good way to access that information. They can recommend to you like what you should be buying and purchasing. And there are so many great subscription models available now. So if a company like my own, where it's just me and a team behind the scenes, can like function and run well-oiled tech machines for our businesses, you definitely can too, in an affordable way. Just to get you excited with some examples of marketing tactics, I'm just going to share a few from a tactics shopping list. Remember my point earlier though about not just including a shopping list, but I just want to stimulate your creativity and your ideas. So, okay, number 1, content marketing, search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, so like your Google ads, social media marketing, email marketing, account-based marketing, which account-based marketing is basically just where your company can only sell to a fairly small number of people, and you just get really targeted and really specific to each individual company and really targeted, and just make your marketing super tailored to them. You've got influencer marketing, which in B2B definitely can work. Event marketing, I love event marketing. I feel like real in-person events could do so well if your company's in a local area in construction or manufacturing. There's people, there's buyers nearby that you could get together and just add some value to their life and help them network, because everyone misses that since COVID. Webinars and workshops, also awesome. The topic will create the demand. If it's really dull and boring, people will not be interested. If it's really adding value, for example, my husband's business, they do the costs for if someone's building a hotel and they project manage it. So if they did a webinar saying, here's how to deliver your hotel on cost and on budget, 10 things to avoid, I reckon their clients would join it. We've got white papers and ebooks, still providing a report that's of value. As long as there's something of substance in it, it's going to work really well. It's going to encourage people to give you their data in return for that freebie. Case studies and customer stories. This is so important, and I really recommend getting on the phone to customers and getting testimonials, talking to them about why they love you, and putting it everywhere. We've got video marketing, we've got podcasting, we've got public relations and thought leadership. Also huge. We've got partner marketing, we've got referral marketing, cross-selling, upselling. Cross-selling and upselling, come on. There is so much money sitting in our companies waiting for us. It is so much cheaper to sell to existing people than to find new ones. We've got podcasting again, public relations again, partner marketing again, referral programs again. I don't know why those typos are in there. We've got direct mail. I actually love this. I think that not many people are doing this, and I think direct mail can be really fun. Trade shows and conferences, definitely, if the audience is there and it's good for your brand, it may not be the most efficient way to reach your strategies and goals, but it's certainly something to consider as part of the mix. Sponsorship, website optimization and conversion rate optimization. So that's where you're really looking at your the journeys that your leads go on and how you can make tweaks to make things more efficient. Customer relationship management, so your CRM systems, looking after your customers. We've got marketing automation, we've got remarketing and retargeting, we've got mobile marketing, we've got chatbots and AI, we've got industry reports and research, online communities. Oh my gosh, I would love to see someone to tell me that they have made an online community as a B2B company. I just think that is so awesome. Customer advocacy programs, that's a great one. And things like free trials and demos. Now, that's the shopping list, but I'm going to talk to you about my favorite ones, okay? So in terms of foundation tactics first, things that you just kind of need and they're important to have, is content marketing. We do need to make sure that we're putting things out that really gives people a flavor of our expertise. We're not just putting stuff out for the sake of it. We are going to put out long form content. So that could be a podcast, a video, an article. I personally prefer something more audio or visual, and it is going to demonstrate our expertise in problem solving our customers' issues, not in just talking our industry lingo that's going to impress our bosses and our peers. No, you want to be interesting to your audience. So what issue are they facing? How are you going to help? So getting yourself some kit. And again, I've got a whole kit list within the course, but feel free to reach out and ask me if you want any recommendations. I think it's really important that we have the kit and we get our subject matter experts comfortable like creating content with us, and we make them feel at ease. And then we develop our editing skills in places like Descript, or hire a video editor. Like I pay a video editor. I'm not doing that myself. And that's a really large part of my entire business. Website optimization, like your website is the heart of your business. So what are we serving to our audience to make them see that we would be the better option? Usually our brand positioning is missing. We're not saying to them, here's why we're the best choice for you. And we're not giving them the information and content we need. The layouts are wrong. We're not getting them to where they need to get to. We're not data capturing them. We're not offering anything of value to turn them from a visitor to an actual contact form completed. So much you can do with website optimization. We've also got on here email and automation. So for me, I feel like it's a no-brainer that if someone inquires, they go into like a bucket in your email software, and then it triggers like a bit of a process to really get them to feel good about your business and to build trust. Maybe we're sharing customer stories. Maybe we're inviting them to a webinar or a real event. Maybe we're just sharing something really great that is just going to make them feel good. And that links in with the funnel marketing, where at each stage of the process they go through, we're just doing things to try and take them down that funnel, where sales are coming in at certain points to have that person to person at the right time, and marketing are just continuing to nurture as part of that, so that it's not like constantly sales bombarding them with call requests, but actually marketing are also doing things to keep them warm. I feel like reviews and customer stories is huge and just not done enough. Google your own business. How many reviews are there? Is such an easy way to get ahead of your competitors, to make sure you've got like amazing reviews on Google and that you're sharing loads of them and loads of success stories. It's just a great way to get ahead of the others. And also just making sure that as a marketer in your business, you are party to feedback from customers. Yeah, it may not be your main job to gather customer feedback, but understanding where your customers are at, what they care about, what's going well for them, like what is frustrating them, will help you to make change in your company. I'm going to leave you with the tactics that excite me. So those ones were the ones that I feel like they're the shopping list that you need to have, but these are the ones that are exciting me at the moment. So first off, influencer marketing. If you can connect with figureheads within your industry that your target audience relate to and connects to, and get them to talk about your business in some kind of influencer arrangement, or even if it's just doing an editorial and PR together, or creating a report with a few different influential people in your industry, is a really great way to make your brand rise up in the eyes of your audience, because they'll see that, oh wow, if that figurehead rates these guys, they must be good. The other one I have here is to have sales as personal brands. I honestly think the best B2B companies, their salespeople are like mini marketers. If you think about me, I'm on TikTok building my brand profile and then I get sales from it. Imagine if your salespeople got really clever and became content creators to talk about issues and actually started generating sales through that. I don't see that being that realistic for many businesses, because the way that we're set up is just about get the sales, get the sales, get the sales. But I think the cleverest salespeople would be doing the kind of stuff I'm doing to get themselves some leads. I've also put in here demand creation, this idea that rather than waiting for the 5 to 15% of people who are currently in the market to find us and then ask us and many others for a quote, we go out and we create our own demand. This topic gets so many people angry and so much divide. But ultimately what I'm saying is get out to people before they're thinking about buying, to highlight the areas in which your competitors are failing them, and talk to them about how you would be the better option. Talk to them about the issues they're facing, why they're facing them, why things could be better. Fill in those gaps with them, and they will start to see you as, wow, those guys get it. And that is what I mean by demand creation, so that when they are in the market, they're more likely to think of you and come to you. Then I've got video podcasts. I feel like it's such a nice way to just really capture so much value. And when you start to use AI, you're really going to be able to like do so much with this content. And on that note, I am opening doors soon for the early bird price for the January intake of my course, B2B Breakthrough Academy. So class starts on January 14th and early bird doors open within literally days. I am giving everyone who joins the early bird a free bonus course as part of this. And it's on AI in marketing with my friend and expert in AI, Ben Lee. This guy blew me away at a B2B marketing conference. And I was like, I need to collaborate with him because the stuff he's doing with AI is like transformative. Not in the sense of like, wow, that's amazing, I could never do that. But like, wow, he did that with like a 5K budget. Unreal stuff. So we're going to do a course together, and everyone who signs up for my early bird January intake of my main course is going to get that course literally for free. It's just like a mini crash course. So if you are interested in getting that price before anyone else, making sure you get that free marketing AI course, you just need to hit the link in the show notes or go to any of my profiles and join the waitlist. Or if you're watching this in a few days, just buy the early bird course and you get £300 off the main price. You also get that free course. So have a little look. Back to my point. Where was I going now? Yeah, so I truly believe that starting with a video podcast with all the right equipment and knowing how to use AI to make that process so much simpler and chop up your content so that you can fuel your social strategy, your email strategy. Literally, your entire marketing plan can be fueled by you just having a video chat with your subject matter expert once every 2 weeks. And we will talk you through that within that course. The last two, self-service with support. I really think that more B2B companies could get closer to an online sale than they think if they're a bit more open with their pricing, giving a bit more away, having literal video demos on their site. Like most of what your reps talk about on a call with your prospects is just like a carbon copy. And then the last few slides are bespoke. What about if you could make your content more self-service so that they're basically closed by the time they get to you? And yeah, you're always going to be open for that meeting, but you're just making it so much easier for them to close themselves. So the self-service with support model is just something I love so much. It's like, we're here if you need us, but everything you need to know about us is available too. We're going to save you so much time. You don't have to book in a call if you just want to get that information. We're going to make things easier for you so that when you speak to us, we're not boring you. And my last one is direct mail. I just feel like it's so fun if you do it really targeted, really smartly, and just send something to someone of value. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like a magazine these days is so luxurious. Like, if I sit down with a coffee and just read a magazine instead of a newsletter, it just feels so nice. So again, don't just use these tactics because I think they're cool. You really got to look through your entire marketing strategy process that you've been on so far and figure out what is going to be the best tactics to pick for your business. I hope that this has been really useful. We're going to go into episode 5 next time, and that is going to be looking at literally the worst module for me. Like, the worst part of marketing for me is how to measure return on investment, how to create your marketing report. And I'm going to really enjoy filming that because I am so bad at it. And I want to show you that not being naturally gifted at something does not mean that you can't do it. It just means that you get a bit of extra help in that area, or you hire the experts to guide you and you just work a little bit harder. And actually, in a way, my marketing analytics reports are probably better because I'm aware that I'm not very good at that, and that's not how my brain is inclined. So I make sure I go to the best in the world to verify, like, what should we be measuring? How can we demonstrate ROI? What is just vanity? What is important metrics for our business? And we're going to dive into that in the next episode. And then in the last part of the series, episode 6, we're going to look at a really fun one, which is how to actually present everything that you've done. So in the course, there is a template that you can just fill in, really simple and basic. And that is literally what you present to your leaders along with your activity plan to show them, here is what we're going to do. And it is all driven by what you want to get for your business going forwards. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'd love a comment or a review from you. And as always, if you do want to join me and many other like-minded marketers in the B2B Breakthrough Academy, we would love to see you there in our exclusive community, consuming the videos to help you complete the course, and so much more, including live calls with me. See you next time.